Hey guys, thank you for being here. I am so glad that you purchased the Feeling Stuck book. It was definitely a labor of love for an inexperienced writer like myself, but I stand by the concepts of mindset transformation coaching and do believe that you have the opportunity to take away information that can make a positive change in your life. So if you stick with me through all 11 video snips I made for you for Feeling Stuck, you're going to get a glimpse of what each tenet will cover and some key elements to consider. Remember, this was once a one-to-one coaching program. So just like with any coaching, whether it's personal development or fitness, you're going to get out of it what you're ready to put into it. And whatever you have available is fine, because that's where you're at. I know the book has a lot of opportunity for introspection, which is why it's probably not a bedtime reader. But if you really want to dive deeper, there is a workbook available on my website at NicoleHoller.com. You can download that and do even more personal introspection. So I don't want to delay anymore, so let's dive into part one of the personal assessment. You might find that as you begin, you're in a pretty good place right now, and frankly, that's pretty awesome. But you might also feel that you're a little bit more stuck. And again, the mindset transformation coaching covered in the book is designed to meet you where you are. On page 13, I ask you to fill out a personal assessment. This is the same personal assessment that I would have had private clients fill out online to give me an idea of where they were at before we met for our discovery call to even determine if we were a good fit. So as you move through the personal assessment, it is very possible that you're going to have a question that gives you a knee-jerk, I don't know. And that's normal. I've heard it plenty of times. It's not a problem. You might also find that you can answer questions that come really easy, like, what are some positive or negative adjectives about yourself? Or what would you do if you won a big lotto? I mean, who hasn't thought of that, right? But then you might get a bit stuck again when I ask you who the naysayer or self-doubter is in your mind, like I ask you in question 2, because again, who usually thinks of that? It's normal, you might not know. And maybe later you suddenly remember that you were always compared to an older sibling and you never really measured up, or maybe you had pressure to do better or do more no matter how well you did. And it left an unconscious imprint on you, telling you that no matter what you did, it was never enough. Your situation is going to be unique to you, and that is perfectly great. It's normal, and it's how it should be. I know for me, my worst enemy, it's myself. And while the examples that I gave you may not apply to me, it doesn't change the fact that our unconscious sometimes stands in our way, and we do have the power to overcome it, though. So as you move through the personal assessment, don't force it. The answers will come to you or they won't, and that's fine. And when they come to you, it might not even be in that moment. In part 2 of the personal assessment, I'm going to ask you to score yourself. Go ahead and make sure you do that, because you're going to see it again and have the chance to see how you've evolved later on. Now, as you move into the personal assessment review, I'm going to give you some mindset transformation tools to help you connect to yourself, to other people, to help you become relaxed and energized in the moment, to become more focused or more confident. A lot of people pull those out to take for later. After you get through that question-heavy personal assessment, you are going to be in part 2 of the book, and that's where we cover the foundation 5 of mindset transformation. That's going to be awareness and accountability, psychological congruence, focus, productivity, presence. But just so you know, part 2 and then part 3, the final 5, will all start with a few questions about each of the upcoming tenets. So just answer those to the best of your ability, but don't sweat it. And then as you move into each tenet, I'm going to cover a lot of concepts. I'm going to give you tools, things to think about. You're going to find a lot of examples, rhetorical questions, and sometimes space to jot down notes if you feel compelled. So whether you decide to read at high level or super granular, I know that at a minimum, you're going to take away some positive tidbits. So I hope this gives you a really good springboard into feeling stuck. I genuinely believe in people, and that you have what you need inside of you to become more empowered to live an even happier and more fulfilling life. Happy reading.